warmth and overwhelming love I felt was bar none. We as dads aren't always seen. So this is a global shout to all dads, dynamic astronomical dudes. Being a parent is a privilege that we sometimes take for granted. What's up, Dad?
D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many names before D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many names before D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many names before D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many names before D-A-D, I tip my hat to the. We were part of your conception, our first connection. For 9 months after that, we too craved confections. Watching you grow was a real reflection on the love that we would get from our heart's collection. Gonna teach you lessons, give good impressions. We'll always keep you close so you won't have to be down. Anticipation and excitement now part of the game. So how real is it gonna be just to speak your name? We're bursting at the seams, we can't wait to meet you. We thought of every way on how to possibly greet you. Your arrival complete, now we're watching you learn. We love the look on your face as we see the wheels turn. This is so real, and we feel quite tremendous. Sometimes I get sad when I know life will end this, cause I'll miss you. D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many days before D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip.
I remember how I felt when each one.
What's up, everybody? Sorry about that. What's going on? Welcome to Dadchop, where we chop it up, dad style. Indeed. So, welcome to another chapter in the Dad Lab. Here chilling, doing this thing. Was thinking earlier on this whole tip was pretty cool that sorry, I got frozen because when you hear your voice and then you hear your voice and then you're like, whoa, I'm talking. Sorry, snafu, fixed. I was reflecting on the day and the use of time and realizing that I really have gotten myself used to utilizing the time that I have available to make a lot of things happen, because like when as a stay-at-home dad, I've been able to, I had to figure out different schedules, different times, like picking the kids up from school, snack, all that good stuff. Like things had to happen in succession, but they had to happen, at a reasonable time and with the time available, right? So less about like, okay, this happened and then this happened. Like no, more like this happened. Now I better make sure that I get this happening because I got to make sure that lunch is prepared or whatever it is that I got to do. I got to make sure I do it. So today, That's About Lunch in Kids' School was more about the yard, because I've been saying that I wanted to get the yard done. I want to get the yard done because we had a lot of rain. I got xeriscaping, which if you have xeriscaping, it sucks with the rocks and it's pretty, it's great in Southwestern, whatever, but so sucky when it's old underneath the little mats and sheets that used to prevent the weeds, really just encourage their growth. So when it rains, it's just an incredible, like it's a jungle in the rocks. So we acquired one of those flame doohickeys and I burned up a bunch of weeds, of course, using reason. I didn't get too close to the house or bushes and stuff like that because I wasn't really trying to ignite the neighborhood. But I did handle the majority of the weeds. And then I still had quite a few left to bend over and pick myself by hand, but I made that happen too. So the yard was successfully navigated, and I got started about 5 a.m. because I already knew, if I wait too long, sun's gonna be up, I'm gonna broast, and that's not gonna be any fun. So we skipped that formality, and we made it happen. It was nice. It was rewarding, but making sure that I started early, handled that, made sure that some laundry was going during the same time so I could do the interchanging from washer to dryer and, continue getting loads done. Just busy. Got to feed the turtle this afternoon. That's probably the last thing as far as, something that has to happen today. other than feeding the dogs and my family dinner. All those things will come. So, yeah. But today has been pretty successful. I was like, wow, making it happen. So, good use of time. And I feel like it's kind of like my responsibility as a parent to show my kids that. Like, even if they are slow or are kind of like, we'll get to it tomorrow kind of attitude, I just show them that, you don't have to really live in that. You can actually still make things happen in your day. Just use the time you want to use, because you can always make time to take a nap or lay down or chill or get on the computer and just hang out and zone in with your homies or whatever it is you do. You can make time, because then, after you get done with all the stuff that you had to do, that's done. Then you even feel rewarded. Like today, unlike any other day, I just feel extra cool about everything that I've accomplished up to this point. And sometimes it's like that. Like sometimes there's that day that's just not like every other day. Like you've gotten up and you've, done things and made things happen and such before, because that's just like who you may be, right? But I do find that if well, I guess I'm saying like you can, how am I trying to say this? Like, I don't know. I lost my train of thought because I was trying to find my chat. It's so ridiculous, man. Just in case anybody pops in, I would like to be able to talk to you. There we go. Awesomeness. Alright, so we're open. I was talking about feeling rewarded. One moment.
I remember how I felt when each one of my babies was born. The amount of warmth and overwhelming love I felt was bar none. We as dads aren't always seen. So this is a global shout to all dads, dynamic, astronomical dudes. Being a parent is a privilege that we sometimes take for granted. What's up, Dad?
D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many men before me. D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many men before me. D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many men before me. D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many men before me. D-A-D, I tip my hat to the.
We were part of your conception, our first connection. For 9 months after that, we too craved confections. Watching you grow was a real reflection on the love that we would give from our hearts collection. Gonna teach you lessons, give good impressions. We'll always keep you close so you won't have to be down. Anticipation and excitement now part of the game. So how real is it gonna be just to speak your name? We're bursting at the seams, we can't wait to meet you. We thought of every way on how to possibly greet you. Your arrival complete, now we're watching you learn. We love the look on your face as we see the wheels turn. This is so real, and we feel quite tremendous. Sometimes I get sad when I know life will end this, cause I'm missing you.
All right, sorry about that. But nonetheless, just saying, kids make, just show them the way, basically. This is the way, and then just leave it at that, Like, I don't have to really do much else but lead by example. That's the biggest thing. So time management, I'd like to give a shout out to my man Justin today. He was a positive individual in my day. He just had some really great thought processes and practices that he follows, and I thought they were really cool. Like letting people just be people, because people do people things. Like there's no, what do you do with that? Like, gotta let do himself, lady do herself. They just have to be who they are. You know, there's no change in that. Um, so basically, work within the limitations of making sure that you manage yourself, right? And that was kind of his belief, and a few other practices that go along with that that he's working on for himself or has worked on for himself. But those are the things he's figured out. And the funny thing is you figure those things out too. I think as you go, as you grow, and as you get older, like I didn't have to like read a book or study that to really feel the way that he was explaining. He practices like thinks that way. Like I think that way. It took me a while to think that way. I mean, I I was just like the rest of us on Earth, man. But I feel like at some point you just kind of grow a little past some stuff. I think that's why I try to be a little more open about the way everything kind of is, and not really the fact that you're just gonna sit back and accept whatever it is. It's more like you just know there are limitations. What can I really say and do? You know what I'm saying? I be a tax-paying citizen. I'm a voting citizen. I can do those things. Like those are the things that I can contribute. Caring about people and animals and things like that, I can do that too. I got that all day. That's just my heart, my soul. Anything else, I don't have to worry about it, because if it's not paying my bills or feeding my family or aiding us in any way, then really it's just a story. So I take the story. I take the story for whatever the story is worth. So if whatever the challenge is or whatever the individual's going through, like, hey, I'm there, I see it, I'm with you, and or I'm not with you. And I just see your actions, or I see the things you did or have done or are doing. So, that's simple. That's a understood thing, right? There's a time, I guess, to just look at things and sort of just say, I get it, and now I'm just gonna let it be what it is. Boom. That simple. Isn't difficult. It's coffee. Excuse me. But yeah, real deal, real talk. This is Chuck from Dadchop, where we chop it up, dad style. So, what use of time do you have? You know what I'm saying? How do you make good use of your day or your time? Get that extra nap in, get an extra, break. Throw your feet up when you can. What's your good use of time? Like time management, I guess, sorta. But what is it, right? What is it? What's the plan? Speaking of plans, how about the college plan? Showing responsibility. My daughter has made me super proud. She's handled all the business that needed to be handled in order to make this transition from my home into her own dormitory space. And I'm super excited and then super not excited all at the same time, because there again, that anxiety, first day of preschool jitter kind of thing, oh my God, my baby, one of my babies is like leaving the nest, and it's crazy. So dealing with that, and not really in an super emotional way, because she kind of has done like a lot of stuff this summer to kind of separate herself from like really being here a whole lot. So she gave herself this freedom as her age progressed, and I honor that freedom. So it's like, hey, if that's where you got to be, if that's what you got to do, go be it, go do it, And so she's, a smart young woman. So I'm letting her just be out there in the world being a smart young woman. What could I say? So yeah, responsibility from her, I think, is awesome. She's definitely showing that. On to men's health. I had my eye check at the VA, and that's why last couple videos ago I was talking about my eye dilation. That was what had happened. I had dilated at the eye doctor, but it was great because I have LASIK, and I can see really well. They said I still see at 20/20, but there's just like a blurry line for me. So when they were able to sharpen that blurry line up, I ordered some glasses, and I remember when we were in the army, they call them RPGs, and I laughed because I thought, that's funny because they're saying those glasses are so hideous that there's no woman in the world that's going to come near you. So they were, you'll never have a date, so you'll never have, you'll never be able to take advantage of anybody. So I thought that was crazy. RPGs, ridiculous. Nonetheless, not anymore. They got a new stock. So the VA had a couple shelves with selections on them, some choices. They had women's frames and the men's frames. But I picked a classy little metal frame plastic combo. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, get your eyes checked, you know what I'm saying? Like I talk about men's health a lot because, I've been recovering from really serious surgery not too long ago and recovering from what happened after the fact. And I'm trying to tell you, man, just being up, mobile, and able to do the things that I'm doing, I'm super happy for. I'm grateful as heck for because I was down, man. I was about to be down and out, but with help from my family and support from my family, and the ability to fight, we all did it together, combined effort, and here I am. So super pumped. About to get another surgery done, but this surgery should complete the processes that were begun in, and we're finishing up now. And then it's gonna be. I'm excited because I just want to get through the recovery portion and then get back to what I've been doing: the exercise, the running, the eating right, doing everything. I've gone backwards from diabetes. You know what I'm saying? Going the other way because I'm eating right, I'm exercising daily, and it's showing. My blood pressure is incredible. So I'm just gonna try to stay on task, man. This is it's a challenge because there's so many delicious things on the planet to eat, but you gotta know that you got limitations as you get older too. So as a dad, talking to other dads who are older as me or getting up here with me, make sure you just stay on top of your health for you and your loved ones. This is Dadchop, right? All right, so my man today, he's an ex-wrestler, WWE stuff. Super cool dude, man. He has a super awesome toy collection, much like you can see, there. Like, but it's amazing, amazing. Like he had some cool stuff. Like he showed me his Godzilla. I remember having the same one that launches his fist, and then he had the little red tab on the back of his neck. You pull it down, and he blows fire out. But I thought I was like his tongue, his flame tongue, but it's supposed to be him blowing fire. I don't know. I remembered. It just took me down memory lane, and I remembered having, Raideen, one of the Shogun warrior brothers, his fist shot off, and then he had the chest missiles, and they were just as tall as each other, the Godzilla and Raideen. Sometimes I made them fight. Sometimes they were companions and fought together, side by side. So yeah, that's how we handled it. But it was cool because it took me down that path, just like my Millennium Falcon back there. He's flying in. That's, I played with that when I was younger. That's one of my Star Wars collection. Just stuff like that, man. Like that's just beast, man. When this dude had that much stuff, I was like, holy cow. So thanks again today for sharing, sir, and giving me that nostalgic trip down memory lane. What is going on, Kaz? Love you, brother. Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. I'm traveling down memory lane there for a moment on some toys because I'm still a big kid at heart. I was about to pull out my comic books, and I was like, oh, I got a broadcast at 1, so I'm gonna have to put this on hold for a minute. So that's what we did. You know what I'm saying? So I told him we'll get up later though. We'll get on that just to make that happen. But yeah, everything I've talked about up to this point, are all ways to stay positive. Um, just staying on top of your responsibilities, making sure that as a parent you always do the right thing. You know what I mean? Like, you young parents out there that are watching Dadchop will understand one day, if you don't already, that you can only do you up to the point of doing you. There's no perfect parent. There's no book. There's no guideline. There's nothing like that. It's trial and error in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to err with your seed. That's just what That's not your goal. So sometimes boo boos occur, like, because we're people. You're a human being first, but you'll manage, you'll forge, and your kids will see that effort. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you put it in, they see it, and then they'll ride that with you. You know what I'm saying? You'll have that loyalty, that love, and from that, everything else works. So, like I said, even though my kids might be the laziest two humans in this house, um, they see my drive, they see what I do, I lead by example, and it rubs off because they're both driven. Their mom is a driven woman, so they're both driven. So it works out. They got the best of two drives. Drive. I'm gonna enjoy a sip from this delicious Dallas Cowboy mug. No sponsorship, just love for the Cowboys. I hate that Washington got hurt. We just acquired this kid, and I'm just like, man, now he's smashed on. What do you do with that? 10 weeks potentially is the actual diagnosis for recovery, but we're mentioning Des Bryant and how he managed to come back from the same broken foot injury and surgery within 6 weeks. So, I think that even though he came back at that time in that 6 weeks, he wasn't as optimal as he had been, So, right, I'm just like checking it out. Let me see. Got a comment I'm going to attend to. Right. You're absolutely right, Kaz. And that's actually, that's fantastic, And life will definitely show them as they get older, you know what I'm saying? And then they'll understand where you were at. But the great thing, too, is once you impart, like, once you impart just your actions, by your actions alone, they see, they learn. You know what I'm saying? Madison's about to step out and become this young woman in the community, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, this is like great, but like I say, through the drive and stuff and everything she's seen us go through and do, she's pretty resilient and smart enough to know better. Gosh darn it. But back onto them Cowboys, man. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped this season, only because I know that we put some things together. We put a few other weapons with Micah Parsons, and so Micah Parsons, D-Law, new. Was it Sam? Was Sam Williams? Sam Williams. So yeah, I'm ready to see things happen, and I feel like it's just a new era. Like, 2022 is 2022. Like, we're doing new stuff. These kids today play like you could play in the video games with a joystick, whereas some of the greats played great and they did great things, like great moves and great dunks and things of that nature. But these kids today are like straight out the video game. Like, what the heck did I just see John Morant do when he fucking, excuse my French, but switched up and did some kind of crazy maneuver and was already at the hole? Who is this dude? Like Lightning Boy, you know what I'm saying? Like, that kid is fast. So I'm saying, in all actuality, football this season I think is going to be different because there was a spark that was given to those Cowboys last season when Micah Parsons showed up and was more than just talk, more than what they even anticipated coming. That kid is the real deal, man. He's the real deal. I want to see how the Chiefs perform this season, and then a lot of the other teams that acquisitioned some of those players. I want to see what they do elsewhere. I want to see how nice they are, or if it was, the tandem of Mahomes to your boy that they traded. So indeed, I'm like, I'm in it. I'm in it. So I think this season we're gonna have some love. Dallas is gonna be like. Dallas is going to be a different team this season. My man says that Cowboys break his heart, but I'm right there with you, sir. I mean, good Lord, like they've ripped at my soul for years, right? So what I'm hoping now, I'm hoping this season we can game it up because, I feel like there's a different spark on the team because of these rookies, because of the CeeDee Lambs, because of the Micah Parsons. Like, them dudes came to these, like, look at D-Law. D-Law is like, yo, man, I got my cape back on. I'm about to come back out flying. And I'm like, okay, let's see, man, because young boy already showed up last season and let you know that no matter where he's at on the field, he's a threat. I mean, come on, Micah Parsons ran as a cornerback last season a few times. I'm like, that kid is ridiculous. Right? Dallas sends your blood pressure right through the roof, my man says. I'm like, I'm right there with him, like, for real. Like, that's real talk. Like, Dallas will have you like, man, just ready to kick somebody in the shin scrape them at least. I don't know. Right. And they got to include Pollard, brother. Like, Lamb, Elliott, Dak, got to see him. I agree. But we got to see Pollard too because Pollard is nice. And he just has a different burst than Zeke. You know what I'm saying? Zeke is like a tank. Zeke, he can ground and pound. Pollard's like, I'm gonna dip and flip. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really looking to see what we do with that tandem as well. Like, let's mix it up. Like, they say Kellen Moore is this offensive genius. Well, let's see some of this genius then, man, because you have incredible chess pieces. I'm even gonna say that this Jalen Tolbert kid is gonna be nasty, who's gonna add a compliment to the passing game. You know what I'm saying? And then if Schultz decides he wants to stand up this season to get that better contract, he doesn't want to just be franchised. He wants his money. Right. But, we all know Jerry Jones is the limitation for the Cowboys. However, if you look at it like this season, Jerry Jones has been really quiet. I don't know what happened. I don't know where any of that went or didn't go. But Jerry Jones has been surprisingly silent this summer. And I'm happy for that because he's not telling us what Dan Quinn's doing. He's not telling us anything. He's really just been off the radar doing rich guy crap. And you know what? That's exactly where I'd like to see him be. Be in the booth. Be in the box. Keep the mouth closed. I know you guys are the owners and general managers and have usurped all the positions of power that you wanted to take. And I get that. I mean, that's your money. I'm not a billionaire. I'm just Chuck. But I will say that surprisingly enough, I've been, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, I've been really happy that his mouth has been shut this summer and not talking about anything, not trying to reveal any secrets, not trying to reveal who's playing hard, none of that, you know? Right. I agree. And it all really starts with that dude, for real. I mean, any problems that Dallas has, or issues that they have, it starts with him. It starts with the ownership, man, because he is a Budinsky owner. He's in the business, he's all about it. Right. The, and I'm glad he's been quiet. Like I said, it's made me happy because I don't have to hear his mouth and his rhetoric. I just get to. I'm looking at the practices. I see who's performing. Like I said, it sucks that Washington, right? Yeah, got hurt. But hey, he wasn't the only guy that was out there, and I'm sure being that we're in all this practice time period, they're picking who's number one and who's number two right now. They're looking at that right now, and we'll see in this preseason games. So it's gonna be a good season. I'm like I said, I'm ready to just kind of see what other people are gonna do with the people they picked up because all those daggum change ups. I'm like what? Like this is crazy. So Aaron Rodgers, who's his number one gonna be? Where's he headed? What's he gonna do? What's his look gonna be like? I mean, I know who he is, but somebody's got to be on the other end of that with some hands. So if there ain't no hands, guess what? Choke. So but I don't know. Do you think Dion would have even come? Because I'm pretty sure if Deion Sanders would have come to Dallas as head coach, it would have been cold blooded. However, would Jerry have let Deion be Deion? Would he let him be Neon? Would he let him train these dudes and get them where he wanted them to be and teach them the things he wanted to teach them? Or would he just be all up in it? And see, that's the thing. That's where him and Jimmy Johnson bumped heads because he let Jimmy, handle the business. But then when he tried to stifle Jimmy, I'm sure Jimmy freaking put the reins on that because Jimmy was not a look. I'm not gonna be a pushover. I'm not gonna hang out. That's why he kept Jason Garrett for so long because Jason Garrett was the perfect puppet. And when New York this past season realized that he was just a pawn, they let him go. They realized, oh, never mind, it probably wasn't his genius. Right, Dion would have turned that job down. He'd have been like, I appreciate it, but not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. So I feel like, uh, for the most part, Dallas has the weaponry. Even if they don't let Kellen Moore spread his wings all great, they still have the weaponry, and they know through even the press talking because everybody tries to act like they don't hear the press, but they hear the press because the same things that the press is asking are a lot of the same things that us couch coaches are at home saying. Do this, run it this way, handle it like this, utilize your offense, utilize your freaking offensive weapons, freaking set up different looks that look like because that's what other teams do to us. They set up these different looks, and then all of a sudden we're still trying to play traditional. Oh, we better stay in this defense because this is and that's how we were getting smashed up. And then this young dude comes in and he's got the eye for that new look, that fresh look. So when they're throwing stuff at him, he's like, no, I'm gonna go over here and I'll be there and I'll meet you. That's what made Michael Parsons nasty because the dude could see the game. Right. Jason Garrett he's a great puppet. Great puppet. So once he left, there was nobody that was gonna run the puppet. So they were just like, okay, come be a coach. Come on. Okay, go. All right, and go. And Garrett's not doing anything, and you're like, oh goodness. So yeah, that was pretty funny because I was like, wow, he didn't even last past the season. You know what I mean? Like, dang, they hired dude and they let him go, and that was quick. I was like, okay, well, he got bounced, super bounced. Oh man, but the season's gonna be good. I'm super amped up. It's so close. I got like I said before when I was talking in the men's health segment, I was saying I got this next surgery coming. It's gonna alleviate these hernias because I left the hospital herniated because they couldn't do any more surgery in 2019. So now, here a few years later, we're gonna get these hernias taken care of, and I gotta have a full abdominal reconstruction. So that's coming up in September, and then I will be on the mend. But I'm still, like I said, staying on the grind. So that's that. Sorry. Back to I, as far as coordinators go, I think that like Dan Quinn, if that's who you're speaking on, I like Dan Quinn, and I think that Jerry hasn't had he didn't have any input for Dan, so he's letting Dan do Dan Quinn stuff because he saw Dan win, he saw Dan as a winner, and then what Dan did with Michael Parsons last season shut any question of Dan Quinn's ability to lead a defense successfully because he had good chess pieces and one super piece, and that piece was all over the board. So that's yeah, yeah, I think. And if he lets young boy lead the offense that way, I bet you he'll be pleasantly surprised. I bet you he will because you know Kellen Moore, I think could do it. I think Kellen Moore could do it. Okay, yeah, I think Kellen Moore is good. I just think he's young. He's got good, fresh ideas. But if they get shut down at the table, then just, the board members they're not going to go for that. They're not going to like that. So then what do? You know what I mean? So I feel like Kellen Moore is a good coach. He's called some good plays, and he knows he can see the game. He's a way better coach than he is a quarterback for sure. Because if you remember him as a quarterback, he stunk. I did not like Kellen Moore and I was skeptical about him becoming the coach. I was like, uh, just in that capacity. Now, as far as Mike McCarthy goes, I think he's a do boy. I mean, and I don't mean that like I had to really think about that, but I just really had to think about what has he done that's really shown me that he leads this team. You know, I don't know that anybody really follows him. Like they respect McCarthy, like you know what I'm saying, but I don't think they respect McCarthy. Like you said, if Dion had come to the team, there would have been a different level of respect. He would have commanded a different level of respect from the players themselves, and that would have carried over into the way they played for him and such. This dude is like, it's almost like the Stay Puff Marshmallow Garrett, and he's a puppet too. Indeed, man. Much love, brother. I love you, dude. For real. I miss hanging out. You got to come through one day and be on the set. Here, I got a few different angles we can shoot from, and get in some good conversation. Uh, but yeah, I'm hoping that at some point McCarthy stands up and shows what he can do as a head coach. But right now, I'm thinking it's kind of Kellen Moore's team, And Mike McCarthy is just kind of a figurehead. I don't really, almost like the president, you know, just somebody they can point at his head and go, this fool is a fool. Thank you. Thank you. I hope so. I feel I'm confident going in. Yes. Yes. Same place. Same bad time. Same bad channel. The Yidwad Residence Soul. So yeah, man. You are more than welcome. Been looking forward to hanging out and just getting to sit down for a minute and catch up. I was thinking, well, one more thing, and I think this is true with McCarthy and the whole situation. The key to their success this season is going to be dude being the owner and staying the owner and not interfering with the play of his chess pieces. Indeed. Thank you, brother. Thank you. So, yeah, that's that. So, I want to tell y'all, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like below. Boop, 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 boop. And I do have merch in there. You can look at it. I'm still trying to adjust some things and get some other things right. I got a couple of different designs that I want to kind of throw out there for the Dadchop joint. Get y'all on some shirts and hat stuff. Me too. Shoot, I got to set it up, finish, you know. But anyway, go to the link below. Just check it out. You can at least see the one piece of art from my man Jay, who drew that. And then soon I'll have the other ones that I've drawn and prepared the design of. And this has been Dadchop, right? Where we chop it up, dad style. So, indeed, brother, thank you very much. Thanks for stopping in and talking to me today on the show, bro. It was fantastic to see you, man. And, man, this has been a complete day now. Shoot, everything's happened. Everything good has happened for me today. So with that, I just want to send out the love to my fam. Kaz, I love you, brother. Man, these dudes, you don't know, about to tear up. Don't want to do that to you, but it's an emotional moment. I love these guys. You know, got to see my man Eric one time too, right? But don't forget to like and subscribe, because this is Dadchop, where we chop it up, dad style. I'm Chuck, and you've been chilling in the Dad Lab with another dynamic astronomical dude, such as yourself, Dad. That's who you are. Dynamic astronomical dudes. Word. Peace.
I remember how I felt when each one of my babies was born. The amount of warmth and overwhelming love I felt was bar none.